Now, on Friday, State Senator Drew MacEwen of Shelton issued a formal demand for an immediate special session of the state legislature. He wants to address the compounding effects of skyrocketing fuel prices. If you filled up at the gas pump this week, hidden utility taxes, if you've recently received notice from your utility provider, PSC or otherwise, that your rates are going up big time, and then looming double digit rate hikes for other utility related expenses. So he is the Senate Republican caucus deputy leader. So he pointed to a perfect storm, he says, of rising costs and fiscal mismanagement. That's his interpretation. And recent filings showing all these utility companies jacking up rates and blaming things like the Climate Commitment Act. He says we cannot wait until the 2027 session to get back in and fix some of these things. He is asking Governor Bob Ferguson to convene a special session this summer, July, to go back in and deal with some of these things now. Here is part of my conversation today with Senator Drew MacEwen.
Washington families are hurting under this program, which a lot of it's direct result of the CCA, the Climate Commitment Act. Obviously there's issues going on in the Middle East which affect our prices at the pump, but for us it's compounded because of the additional tax and regulatory burden we have in this state. So it's expensive to get to your job, it's expensive to get home, and now when you get home and you're utilizing your energy, and Puget Sound Energy increased your rates 20%. All of this is just compounding and making it harder and harder for families to make ends meet. And I'm hearing directly from my own constituents on how astronomical those increases have been for them. It is time that this state pulls its head out of the sand and addresses these issues and not do things from the viewpoint of wanting to score their progressive political points. Because you know what, in doing that, you're destroying families because it's having a serious economic impact. But there's two other things that have come up, or three really, in the last this past week. In addition to the energy, yesterday Moody's downgraded our state's debt and put us on a negative outlook. That's not good. They're citing, here you have an independent rating agency that if they did this to a public company, and they do this to publicly traded companies when their finances are out of order, when they give them a downgrade or put them on watch, that spikes the interest rates on future loans or debts that they have to do. But it also signals to the overall market that, hey, there's something wrong here. Well, that's what they just did with our state. They said there's something fundamentally wrong with the economics in Washington State in terms of our government and our budget. We can't ignore that. That has a real consequence. It'll have an impact on future transportation projects when we put bonds to market, because we're going to be paying a higher interest rate. Oh, but guess what? We've also got another issue that's creeping up on us. The unemployment insurance fund that's administered by ESD. I just got a report that I read this morning that they're projected to not have enough solvency beyond 6 months come September, which then triggers the need to have, by their analysis, to have an additional surcharge tax on unemployment insurance benefits. That's a direct impact to employers and employees that have jobs. They're also predicting an increase in unemployment benefits because we're seeing an uptick in our state of job losses. Microsoft just announced yesterday a buyout of a number of folks. You've seen it with some other companies as well. We've seen the exit of some from this state. I mean, hello, let's wake up. I can't believe, when you look at the governor's inaugural speech and the moderate tone he struck then, and that was the last we ever saw of that. And the pendulum went far left. And and it's been a spending binge like you can't believe.
Now, Senator MacEwen told me he's not holding his breath, that Governor Ferguson will respond to say, hey, you're right. We better get back in session and deal with this. We can't wait. But he believes now is the time to start calling attention to this. It's an election year. He brought that up as well. So he said, I know that even members of his own party are not going to be anxious to be, brought back into special session and brought off the campaign trail. But he wants people to pay attention to this right now. He's sounding the alarm and hopes people are going to pay attention and kind of look ahead to where we are headed. You recall this week we got some notes out as well from Washington, unemployment rates going up. And there's a lot of concern about the direction of where things are economically for the state of Washington.